We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hello and welcome on in to another miserable day at the Cam Show. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. We're talking Boston sports as we do every weekday, live on YouTube at high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. We are still reacting from the Rafael Devers trade because now we've heard from some of the other sides. We've also got a big bombshell kind of a story about how chaotic this Red Sox front office is. We will hear from Craig Breslow and Sam Kennedy on what they said last night and this morning about this trade. And is there some conspiracy theory here between the Red Sox and John Henry and Liverpool Football Club? Let's talk about all that and more coming up on the Cam Show. But we start where we start. The Red Sox are a hot mess. As much as you might try to put that by the wayside as a Red Sox fan, it is true. And now the whole world is seeing it again with this Rafael Devers trade. 5 years ago, the Mookie Betts trade, everyone's like, wow, what a bombshell. What a dumb move by the Red Sox. That happens once in a generation. Now it's happened again. In fact, it's probably the third time in the last 5 years you've traded a Hall of Famer and gotten almost nothing in return. And this one comes out of nowhere. It shocks everybody. It doesn't make any sense. Most people paying attention in baseball knew a Mookie Betts trade was coming, even though it was so outlandish. Nobody saw this one coming. And it leads to a great story from Yahoo Sports, from Joon Lee, who calls it inside the, quote, absolute shit show, end quote, that led to the Boston Red Sox's trade of Rafael Devers. And Joon lays it all out, from really the Mookie trade to spring training to the conversations in Kansas City to not trying to move off third base, not trying to move on to first base, all of this back and forth, even some stories we hadn't heard before, all laying out why this organization is much more of a mess than even just this one trade. It's unrecognizable from the franchise we saw rise to, fame that they hadn't seen, glory they hadn't seen in 90 to 100 years. And you thought it might be coming back. It's not. It hasn't been this far away in a long time, to the point where nobody is on the same page. The players, the manager, the front office, the people working within the front office probably have cubicles right next to each other. It's not adding up. And it's almost like this team right now is winning in spite of it. Because this is a real bad situation going on behind closed doors. And it's not limited to Craig Breslow and Rafael Devers. This is happening to Craig Breslow from his own staff. Here's what Joon Lee wrote about and talked about on the radio this morning about how it's not just Rafael Devers that has a personal beef with the Red Sox general manager.
There's a Zoom meeting that's filled with people from across the organization. Breslow is giving information. The Zoom meeting ends, and on a hot mic, a scouting coordinator, his name is Carl Moesche. He'd been with the Red Sox since 2017. He says under his breath, "Thank you, Brez, you effing stiff." And that goes out across the entire organization. This happened about a month ago. And Breslow, as a result of that going out there, decided to fire Moesche. Now, it's interesting because Mosche's sentiment is kind of reflected across most of the front office right now. And so the fact that this got out there, is kind of an embodiment of how much chaos is going on in the front office. The fact that this is a sentiment that not only happened in a Zoom meeting but got out to the public, got to me as a reporter, I think speaks to the level of chaos that is going on and the level of disagreement that's going on.
There's like a mutiny in that front office, man. They hate him. Like, I feel like Tom Jackson after Belichick cut Lawyer Malloy, and he's like, they hate their coach. No, this sounds real. They really don't like this guy. They don't like the moves. They don't like the direction that this organization is going, to the point where not only, like as Joon points out, not only does one guy say that, but then it gets out to a reporter. 2 other sources confirm, yeah, this did happen. So it's not just Rafael Devers that has a problem with Craig Breslow. It's not just us, the fans. It goes so deep. And it's probably a rift with the manager as well, who, signs this extension last year with the promise that, we're going to go all in and we're going to start to win. And it feels like it. And I'm not saying Alex Cora has done a great job this year, because I don't think he has. But you get this promise. You go out and get Cora's guy, Bregman. You go out and trade for Crochet. You extend them right away. You're bringing up the kids. And then you just trade the best player. Saving some money. You got to save some money around here. And this is the fundamental difference from this Red Sox team. Even if they are good, even if this team does make the postseason, here's the fundamental difference between a team like this and a team that you had 15, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. Those teams wanted to win, like no matter what. Financials were never, ever really part of the discussion with the Red Sox. They spent a lot of money. Probably not quite as much as the Yankees, but they spent a lot of money because it wasn't about, a luxury tax or salary dumps or, moving guys around different positions. They wanted to win baseball games. They set it up at 95 wins a year, top 2 in the division, postseason. World Series teams. Like, I saw David Ortiz rushing to the defense of the Red Sox here because I don't think he likes Rafi anymore. And, saying, we don't know, Rafi might not have been good for the clubhouse, yada, yada, whatever it was. Like, he might not have. Again, I'm not saying Rafi Devers was a great teammate here. I was just as pissed as every Red Sox fan that he didn't want to move off third base, that he wouldn't help the team and play first base. I did plenty of segments on it. I'm not saying he's a great teammate, but the guy's not Manny Ramirez. He's not Barry Bonds. In fact, I watched a great little mini documentary about Sammy Sosa, why the Cubs hate him. He's not that. He's not A-Rod on the Yankees. He's not suing the team. He's not leaving games early. He's not showing up for series the way Manny did. He's not slapping any women around. He's not doing any of that. He's being a baby. But what my point is back then the Red Sox were willing to eat a lot of crap if it meant winning baseball games. Now they don't do either of those things. They're getting rid of a guy who's a saint compared to Manny to dump his salary and decide to probably not win as many baseball games. Irony is they're in a playoff spot right now, but they're not a better team than they were when Rafi Devers was on the team. And again, this story is very damning. It's not just that part of it, but, talking about the return and some of the conversations that happened, because look, I need to kind of address this as well. Like, I kind of said it, poo-pooed it a few seconds ago, but like Rafi Devers was not a good teammate. That's again, not the level of Manny or Sammy Sosa or anything like that, but he wasn't a good teammate. He didn't move positions to help the team. He bad talked his GM to the media, saying, I don't know what the issue he has is with me. He knows that I can't play every position. Well, he asked you to play two. One you had played for 8 years of your major league career. Okay. So it seems like a crybaby kind of stuff, man. Absolutely. And then the story that also comes out with this Joon Lee story is that he gets mad, Rafi Devers gets mad at Christian Campbell, the rookie, because he offers to go and play first base. And it's like, okay, yeah, this kid's trying to make it in the big leagues. Management is asking somebody to do something, and he's stepping up, and Rafi Devers is mad at him because it seems like a slight at Rafi. So again, I don't like this. I don't like that it's all about Rafi. But I also don't know where we lost our way as an organization. Because this is now year after year after year after year where they tell you, the fan, and the rest of the front office, and Alex Cora, the manager, they're telling these guys, next year's going to be the one. Like, we're going to start to really go all in. We feel like we've got the team. We're going to make some moves. And now it's next year again. Next year's when we'll do it. Right? We need to get rid of that clubhouse cancer. We need to get rid of that money so that we can spend even more. Now we get $250 million free. What do you think the Red Sox are going to do with that? Like, is there anything that they've shown us over the last few years that says, yeah, they're going to make two big moves here? And people saying, oh, well, now it frees them up to make a big move at the trade deadline. How? You don't have any more value than you had 2 days ago. You know, you could go out and sign a free agent in December or March at this point in how the baseball season works. But this doesn't open up anything for you in the trade market. You don't have anything more than you had right now. In fact, there's nobody on your major league roster today that you got in that trade. You have no prospects and no major leaguers. How does that make you any more flexible at the trade deadline than it did 2 days ago? It doesn't. It's bullshit. And that's what this organization is. It's bullshit. Year after year, they're just going to make up another excuse as to why they're not going all in, as to why they're not spending the money. Since when do the Red Sox need cost-cutting measures? You know, in 2012, when they had 3 bad contracts, yeah, that was it. This was one contract that wasn't even bad yet. Like, they just keep lying to you, man. Like, seriously, I talked about it with the Roman Anthony stuff. You know, 2 weeks ago, they were saying, we can't call him up because we don't want him to be the savior of this team. And then 2 weeks later, they fucking trade the face of the franchise, and now it's Roman Anthony. Now he's the guy. Can't find a spot in the lineup for him every day. We just need our Gold Glove right fielder to get hurt, and we need to trade the best hitter we have. That's how we make room for Roman Anthony. Oh, but don't say he's the savior. Don't say he's the face of the franchise. We can't have that. It's total bullshit. Like 100%, man. And they're just now like kind of using the guy who is going to be the next face of your franchise, Roman Anthony. Don't think he is 1 week into his major league career. Call me crazy. But now you're putting him in a tough position that you said the fans were going to put him in. And remember, it wasn't that long ago, it was a few days ago that they were talking about this. We were talking about it on our show, that when when Wilyer Abreu comes back, that Roman Anthony was going to be sent back down. That was like 3-4 days ago. There was a real likelihood that Roman Anthony would be sent back down to Worcester when Wilyer Abreu was healthy. Now he's the face of the franchise. Are you feeling me here? None of this is adding up. Nothing that this franchise is doing is making sense. You know, they're one of the biggest market teams in the league. They're now 19th in payroll after shedding the Rafael Devers contract. Congrats, you guys did it. Once again, bottom half of the league in payroll in a market like Boston. It's crazy. It's asinine. They don't spend money. They're much more willing to trade their prospects that they've worked for years to develop than actually spend some money on free agents at market value. And they're just going to keep telling you that it's next year. Like, who is next? Is the clock ticking on Roman Anthony? Is the clock ticking on Alex Bregman? Is the clock ticking on Garrett Crochet? You know, all of these guys now, you have to wonder, when are the Red Sox going to offload them? Because it's all about that bottom line. The bottom line for this organization, even under this ownership, used to be winning. That was the bottom line. Now the bottom line is the bottom line. And it's never been more evident than it is right now. They are much more willing to trade Hall of Famers than they are eating some money and putting a winning baseball team on the field. That's what they have proven to us in the last 7 years. They are much more willing to do that than to go to the postseason. To keep a core intact that will play winning baseball for years to come. They'd rather not deal with that. They'd rather get the Henrys some more yachts. They'd rather put some money into Liverpool Football Club, which we'll talk about later in the show. But this is, without a doubt, a complete shit show. My show and the Red Sox front office, a complete shit show. And it's never been more evident than right now. If the team uses this as a rallying point, great. But they're not a better team than they were 2 days ago. And there's nothing this front office can say that's going to change our minds on that. Speaking of which, we're going to hear from the guys in the front office in the next segment. But guys, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, get involved in the comment section below. How bad is this Rafael Devers trade? Was it the right move in the end? Do you like them shedding salary this often? Sound off on this Red Sox front office in the comment section below. Again, like and subscribe if you hate this deal. We are live on YouTube every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Check out the other videos on the channel talking Red Sox and everything else Boston sports. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. Coming up, an embarrassing Zoom meeting from the Red Sox front office and maybe even a worse interview for Craig Breslow this morning. Let's hear from Sam Kennedy. Let's hear from the Red Sox GM and hear how they are trying to cover up this massive mistake with the Rafael Devers deal. Let's do it next on The Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Introducing Muck Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Visit roguemediamusic.com for more music.
Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com.
And now, back to our show.
Back to the Cam Show here on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. We're still reacting to the Rafael Devers trade because we heard from the Red Sox front office last night and this morning. The Joon Lee article made it perfectly clear. This organization is a shit show. The Red Sox are a joke. And they might be winning some baseball games right now. It's been fun to watch. They've won 6 in a row. They won again last night, but they're a joke. This Rafael Devers trade shows once again that they are a joke. And they've really got to work to earn that trust back with the fan base, with the manager, with the players, and with the people within their own front office. That's what's so damning about that story. And so in classic Red Sox fashion, they trade Rafael Devers on Sunday afternoon, right? Early evening after they sweep the Yankees and they're about to head out to the West Coast so that then they can put a meeting together on Zoom 24, 25 hours later at 8 p.m. Eastern time on a Monday night, right before the Red Sox are about to take the field, about an hour before, against the Seattle Mariners. It's just classic Red Sox running away and hiding after making a huge, huge deal. And it's Sam Kennedy mainly and Craig Breslow. And Sam Kennedy, man, is the biggest just skeleton of a front office person you've ever seen in your life. Like, just will not answer a question, no human emotions, won't even make eye contact. Matt McCarthy of 98.5 actually asked a really great question, basically like, hey, we did this with the Mookie trade. Now we're doing it again with Rafael Devers. Why have the Red Sox become a team with this reputation? Why are the Red Sox the team that trades Hall of Famers now and gets nothing in return? And here's what Sam Kennedy had to say about that.
But I'll put our record up against anybody else's in Major League Baseball over the last 24 years. We're incredibly proud of what we've built here. We've got more trophies and banners to show for it than any other organization in Major League Baseball. And we are so proud of that. And this clubhouse believes in itself, and we believe in them. And I think our players are going to be pretty vocal over the next couple months about the belief in themselves and what they've been put together to do. Craig?
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? This is the second time in 5 years you have traded the face of your franchise for fucking peanuts, and you're sitting there telling us, well, we got more World Series than anyone else the last 25 years. Great. Why don't you want to win another one? This is seriously the time that you're taking a victory lap after this to make us look like the assholes that are asking the questions? Like, seriously, what is wrong with these people? Yeah, you've got 4 World Series. You've also got 6 last place finishes. Did you know that? That a quarter of those 24 years you finish in last fucking place? Or are we not beating our chest about that, Sam Kennedy? Is this not the time to take a victory lap about finishing in last place a quarter of those seasons? And not even making the postseason in 4 years. And being a game over 500 since you won the World Series. Are we not pounding our chest about that? What a fucking joke this team is, man. And by the way, can somebody donate a spine to Sam Kennedy? You're on a Zoom. No wonder they don't do this in person. He can't even make eye contact on Zoom.
He's, I would put our record up against anybody in the last 24 years.
You fucking pussy. How about looking some people in the goddamn eye? It's not that hard to do it on a computer. I do it every fucking weekday. High noon Eastern time, live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts. Know that I'm looking at you there too. Like, are you kidding me with that? There's just everything the Red Sox do just makes you want to vomit. You can't even look these reporters in the eye on a Zoom screen.
I'd put our record up against anybody.
You suck. You all suck, man. This is seriously it. This is where you become Jerry Jones, and this is where they become the Dallas Cowboys. Jera just sits there every fucking year where they get worse and worse. They don't go to the conference championship game. They always choke when it matters, and he just sits there and says, well, you know, I delivered us 3 Super Bowls, or we're the most valuable franchise in sports. This is what the Red Sox are becoming. The rest of the league laughs at them. The executives around the league have no idea what they're doing with their prospects and with their best players. And they sit there and say, well, yeah, I'd put our record up against anybody. I don't know that I would at this point. Like, you know? Yeah, you have 2 more World Series than the Astros do in the last 25 years. Have the Astros had a better decade than you? How about the Dodgers? You got 2 more World Series than them. Would you rather, be the Red Sox or the Dodgers right now? I don't know. Let's just have a think tank, Sam Kennedy. Oh, but you're right. You did win 7 years ago. And you've been pure mid since then and traded 2 Hall of Famers. But I should count my blessings. Again, they're just double middle fingering the fans all the time. All the time. They're 19th in payroll. They're exactly 500 the last 7 years. They just traded the face of the franchise again. And you know what? They're going to have the most expensive tickets in Major League Baseball. Oh, the Fenway experience. Come look at those banners we raised. It's so sickening, man. Like what this organization has become. And just how much they just spit on their fans all the time. And they're going to tell him, next year we'll be fine. Craig Breslow then goes on the radio this morning on EEI and just, embarrasses himself again. Just what did you expect? But they asked a good question here. Greg Hill asked a good question about how many teams did you shop him to? Because this is starting to sound like the Luka trade. Craig Breslow, floor is yours. How many teams did you shop him to?
No, but you did. How many other teams did you speak to, would you guess?
Without putting a number on it, we had spoken to teams that had expressed, interest in Rafi. I think because so much of what has happened here over the last 6 months or so has been pretty public. There have been teams that have reached out, throughout this process. But this was about, if there was going to be a trade that took place, and one that rose to the level of feeling like it was best for the organization, we were going to hold a high bar, and the opportunity to make the trade with San Francisco is the one that we chose.
I'm not going to put a number on it. Why aren't you going to put a number on it, Craig? Why can't you put a number on it? You know why? Because that means it's 1, maybe 2. And you don't want the fans knowing that. You don't want the fans thinking that, A, you pulled a Nico Harrison with Luka and just shopped them to one team for no reason. Or B, you did it for 2, and people are going to ask, okay, what was the offer from the other team? Did they include prospects? Did they include guys that can play on the major league roster? Did they include a pitcher? Did they include a first baseman that you need? No, they're terrified. They're terrified of admitting that they just shopped a 30 home run guy, an all-star guy, one of the best left-handed hitters in baseball, to one team. Is this going to become a trend in sports? Because, I'm not a huge fan of it. Like trading some of the best players in the league for just nothing and being like, yeah, this guy was a locker room cancer. We couldn't win with him. That's what Dallas did with Luka Doncic. That's what Nico did with Luka Doncic. And it sounds like that's what Craig Breslow is doing right here. He's not doing himself any favors, man. He's not telling you how many teams. He's not putting a number on it because it's 1. And there's absolutely no world where the Giants put out the best deal that anybody in Major League Baseball could give you. It's just, there's absolutely no world where that's possible. I know that Rafael Devers costs a lot of money. I understand that. He's a lot less than Vlad Guerrero Jr. He's a lot less than Ohtani and Soto. And he's also a tier below those guys. But, actually, Vlad Jr. is not that far off. He's pretty much the same player. But to think that, yes, $250 million is a lot of money, but that you got nobody in return for it. You didn't get a prospect. You got guys who were in the minor leagues, but you didn't get a prospect. And you didn't get a guy who's on the major league roster right now. You got nothing. You lose. Fucking Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, and he's here to tell me that was the best offer? I don't know. I don't know, man. If this team falls apart, which is possible, I think it's also possible they still make a run at the postseason. But if this team falls apart and they don't come anywhere close to the playoffs, how do you keep the guy? Because he's going to run to John Henry and say, hey, I saved you some money. So maybe that's what does it. But you've got a guy that just doesn't have any reasoning for anything. At least Chaim Bloom had some reasons. You guys might not have liked them. And again, I don't put the Mookie trade on Chaim Bloom. That was something that he had to walk into. But we're starting to realize more and more why everybody said no to this job. Why 10 people said no. Why a woman from Miami with the Marlins said no. And why they had to settle on Craig Breslow. Because nobody else wanted it. Nobody wants to work for this ownership. Nobody wants to do this next thing and trade their best player. It's an absolute mess. And Craig Breslow and Sam Kennedy, they can't talk their way out of a fucking paper bag. For a guy who went to Yale, I think a couple of guys who went to Yale, they cannot talk out of anything, man. It's just crazy. And Sam Kennedy just sitting there as a fucking suit with a smile. Like, God, does he give you nothing? Absolutely nothing in terms of expertise, charisma, not a goddamn thing. Craig Breslow, same way. His peers around Major League Baseball have no idea what he's doing. His peers that work for him inside his office doesn't know what he's doing. Nobody understands the message except Craig Breslow and maybe John Henry. That's what is so surprising here. Nobody is on the same goddamn page. And Craig Breslow is sitting here and taking notes from what everybody is panning, whom everybody is panning as the worst general manager in sports. He's worshiping at the altar of Nico Harrison. Like, I don't understand it. This is where the Red Sox organization needs a full reset, man. They need to get a good general manager in here because they haven't had one in a while. And I liked Chaim Bloom. I think Chaim Bloom was better than Craig Breslow. I thought he had a clear message. Some people didn't agree with it, but there was also attrition there, man. Like, Chaim Bloom didn't see eye to eye with Alex Cora. That's a problem. And they still did a lot of cost-cutting measures. That's still a problem. You know? I mean, this is a far cry from when you bring Dave Dombrowski in and he guts your farm system, but he makes you a real team. This is not even close to that. And maybe it's because we were spoiled with having probably the best general manager in history with Theo Epstein. I don't think there's anybody better in the history of baseball than Theo Epstein. And maybe we just got spoiled because of that. But, Ben Cherington didn't really know his ass from his armpit, got lucky using the Theo Epstein model. Dombrowski came in and did his thing. He was great, but he gutted your farm system. You knew that's what it was. And since then, you can't get a good general manager in here. They don't even want to interview with you. And this is why. Nobody wants to work for this ownership group. Nobody wants to work for fucking Sam Kennedy. That loser. Can't even make eye contact on a fucking computer screen. And is out here taking a victory lap about how many World Series they've won in the last 25 years. When they trade 2 Hall of Famers in 5 seasons, nobody fucking does that. Possibly 3 Hall of Famers, by the way. Nobody does that. That's the Red Sox cornering the market on trading Hall of Famers for peanuts. Of the last 3 trades of borderline Hall of Famers, and obviously in the case of Mookie Betts, a first ballot Hall of Famer, you have one guy from those 3 trades that's on your roster right now. One. And that number, 1, is more than he has in the RBI column this season. You have one guy from those 3 Hall of Fame trades, Connor Wong, and he has not a single goddamn run batted in this whole season. That shouldn't even be possible on June 17th. But here we are. That's what this organization is now. And now it's led to some conspiracy theories. Did John Henry just do this to line the pockets of Liverpool Football Club? We're going to talk about that in a minute, but get in the comment section below. What do you think about Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow and this organization? Like and subscribe if you hate the direction this organization is going in. We're talking Boston sports every day live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Check out the other videos on the channel talking Red Sox and everything else Boston sports. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. As promised, coming up, we'll put our tinfoil hats on. Bill Simmons already has. Are the Red Sox trading Hall of Famers just so they can get more money for Florian Wirtz? We'll tell you what that means coming up next on The Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internix.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress. It's like a wearable hug for your nervous system that helps you calm down and feel better. The Apollo wearable will send gentle vibrations to your body, like a song you can feel instead of hear. You feel better, you sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
And now, back to our show.
Back to it. Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network, closing things out on a Tuesday. Still talking Rafael Devers, man. We've talked about what Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow said and how stupid that sounds. The great kind of expose piece, I guess you would call it, from Joon Lee of Yahoo Sports about, some Red Sox staffer on a Zoom hot mic. What did he call him? Thanks, Brez, you fucking stiff, and getting fired. Like all kinds of stuff coming out in the days following the Rafael Devers trade. The most important name around this Rafael Devers trade all of a sudden is Florian Wirtz. Who the hell is Florian Wirtz? Well, he just became a Premier League record signing from Liverpool Football Club. Well over $100 million to bring in the German winger from Bayer Leverkusen to go play for Liverpool Football Club, owned by Fenway Sports Group, John W. Henry. That is now the conspiracy going on around Red Sox Nation, and it starts with a guy who's still, I think, firmly entrenched in the Boston sports scene, and that is Bill Simmons. He tweets out a screenshot of the article, "How can Liverpool afford Florian Wirtz?" from Chris Witherspoon. I'll read a little bit of it from the screenshot. Wirtz will join from Bayer Leverkusen on a 5-year contract. In exchange, Liverpool have agreed to pay the German club $135 million in guaranteed fees, with a potential £16 million due in add-ons. Simmons tweets that with the caption, wonder what's going on here. It is interesting, right? Liverpool is owned by Fenway Sports Group, also own the Red Sox, some NASCAR group, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. You'll remember, if you follow your hockey, the Penguins went up for sale a few months ago. Fenway Sports Group was saying they were selling at stake. They put it on the market. I want to say late January, early February. Mario Lemieux, Penguins legend, said this past weekend that they're just looking to buy the Penguins again. And now FSG's turning that down. They're like, hey, whoa, slow your roll here. I don't know if we're really putting them on the market. They're 3 separate entities. But come on, they're owned by the same guy. There's a lot to look into here. Personally, I think it's bullshit. I think Liverpool just won the Premier League title. They've got a bunch of cash right now, okay? They're going to get some awesome Champions League revenue. Once again, that makes a huge difference when it comes to Premier League football. But we have talked about this in the past with Liverpool and the Red Sox, and definitely with the Penguins. The only team that he owns that works with a salary cap, that they're not willing to spend as much money as some of their competitors are. And the Red Sox had a glory era in the late 2010s because they mainly had some great homegrown talent. Like, yeah, you went out and you signed JD Martinez, you signed David Price, you signed, some of these guys here and there, but mainly you had David Ortiz, who you'd had for a long time, and you had under rookie deals, Xander Bogaerts, Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley, Andrew Benintendi. You had a lot of these guys locked in for cheap. Okay? And for Liverpool, you did a lot of spending 7-8 years ago. Mohamed Salah, Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk. And then you kind of rode that till right now. So they'll spend money once every 7 or 8 years. And it does seem fishy that when they do a salary dump for the Red Sox best player in his prime, and the same week, Liverpool is breaking the transfer record, the English transfer record for a new player. It's a little fishy, man. Like, the timing is horrid. And stop me if you've heard this one before. John Henry and Fenway Sports Group, not great with optics. Huh. I didn't see that coming. They're usually bang ahead of that. They got great PR. It is worth the question, I think, because so much of where it comes from in European football is just coming from how deep your owner's pockets are. And it's either going there or it's going in John Henry's pocket. Like, it's either going to Liverpool or the Penguins or it's going in John Henry's pocket. Because it's not going to the Red Sox right now. They haven't extended any of their 2 new young kids, right? Meyer or Anthony. They didn't extend Abreu. They didn't extend Casas. They extended Christian Campbell. Cheap. They haven't gone out and got a big-time free agent but Alex Bregman in the last 4 years. Cheap. Now it's all starting to rear its ugly head once again. Is it Liverpool that's benefiting from the Rafael Devers trade? I don't know, man. It still seems like a bit of a stretch. Craig Breslow said that was categorically false. Of course, he would say that. But yeah, the timing is very odd. And now all of a sudden, a bunch of Red Sox fans, a bunch of Boston townies are looking up who Florian Wirtz is and what this means for Liverpool and for the Premier League. And then, of course, yeah, for Rafael Devers and the Boston Red Sox. If anything came out about this, like tangible, like any kind of Zapruder film, Zapruder tape of John Henry saying anything about this money going towards Liverpool, or God forbid the Penguins, I mean, that could be even worse. There, I think, would genuinely be protests outside Fenway Park. I won't go as far as saying riots, but yeah, protests, boycotts, paper bags. It's the worst position to be in sports when you have bad owners. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing the fans can do about it. You know, there's nobody above them. You are shit out of luck when you have bad owners. And I've always said this about Fenway Sports Group. You like to use the Sam Kennedy excuse. It's like, yeah, man, eternally grateful. 4 world championships. You couldn't have even dreamt of one by the time they got in here. They were the most snake-bitten franchise in all sports. So yeah, 4 championships is nothing to sneeze at. That's awesome. But I'll also say this about Fenway Sports Group. It would be like being in a great marriage. You know, 20 years, you raise kids, get a beautiful house, family vacations. They're successful. They're going off to college. They're living out their dreams. And then after 20 years, your spouse just starts beating the shit out of you and just turns into a monster, turns into a demon, and just has no respect for you. Is that the same thing? Is that the same person? Do you have the same love and respect for when you had all the kids together and you were doing all these great things? Or are you remembering that and thinking that it's time for a change? Extreme example? Yeah, maybe. But that's how Red Sox fans, I think, feel about this ownership group. And if anything gets out about them putting this money into Liverpool, which is a conspiracy theory, but it's not completely out of the question. Like, they are the same owners. Like, that's not totally insane. But if it does get to that, oh man, you're going to see a completely different animal from this Red Sox fan base. Completely different animal. You could pull that shit with the A's. I don't think you can do that with the Red Sox, personally. But maybe that's just me living in a world set 20 years ago. But let me know what you guys think. Do you have the tinfoil hats on? Is this Rafael Devers trade only benefiting the Reds of Liverpool FC? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think. We're live here on YouTube every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Check out the other videos on the channel talking Red Sox and everything else going on in Boston sports. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. Appreciate you guys listening. We will see you tomorrow on a little ditty that we like to call The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. We understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit twosains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.